is the 15th largest economy of the world, a leading developing country in Latin America with multiple trade deals and the second receiver of foreign direct investment in the region. However, as it happens with other countries, all the wealth production and growth has been accompanied by negative environmental impact. Mexico is also #1 in greenhouse gas emission in Latin America and #10 worldwide. The commitment made by the Mexican national government during the COP21 in 2015 has been since then, as in most of the world, not enough. The report made by the Climate Action Tracker organization in 2018 deems Mexico performance as insufficient. In the report regarding the fulfillment of sustainable development goals in the same year, we failed 8 of the 17 indicators. And in climate transparency in 2019, Mexico is estimated to advance in a warming route of 2 and 3 degrees Celsius. As if these were not enough, this year, in the country we have been witness to the revival of the oil industry and the gamble for the construction of new oil refineries, the cancellation of renewable source auctions, and the undervalue of clean energy certificates. This cannot go on. The global call is clear. We are failing our children and they are rubbing it in our faces. The lack of connection between the narratives and the facts in national governments have, in my perspective, a solution: changing the focus towards the local scene. This is why since 2016, as Mayor of Guadalajara, alongside the Mayor of Mexico City, we added to the C40, the network of megacities committed to climate change. Likewise, 2 years ago, the WWF started with Guadalajara metropolitan area as the first city of Mexico, the local alliance for climate action. Now Monterrey, the third largest city in Mexico, is part of this network too. Taking this into consideration, I'm very proud to announce that last November 27, the subnational governments in Mexico have created the Alliance of Mexican Governors for Climate, which I have the honor to represent today. All the states of Mexico, all the parties, we are all in. With this alliance, we've decided to commit to climate action to reach the goals posted by the Paris Agreement. Subnational governments can't stand by and wait for countries to take the lead and show us the way. Nor the timeline or the enormity of the problem allow us to. It is absolutely necessary to be proactive. We are very clear in the knowledge that no change can be accomplished if we don't start locally, close to the community and their need, using our knowledge of the territory and its vocation. Anyway, the support of the President of Mexico will be strategic. I'm sure that he will be an ally of this agreement. Through the Alliance of Mexican Governors for Climate, we have designed 10 transversal high-impact strategies from a subnational level and complementary to the Federation. Climate action plans or programs with adaptation, mitigation, and resilience measures that recognize the transversality of the climate agenda between institutions and sector, as well as intergovernmental collaborations. The climate action plans or programs based on vulnerability analysis and incorporate to their actions the adaptation based on ecosystem species. Third, fight against deforestation and the degradation of our forests and jungles, effectively integrating the farming sector. Create tools that facilitate the impulse made by the energy transition towards clean sources and efficient use of energy. Development of public transportation and sustainable mobility projects. Emission reduction through integral waste management under policies that facilitate circular economy. Policies and tools that favor quality of air management. Territorial planning tools built in an integral manner to facilitate the reduction of land use changes and the degradation of ecosystems, managing a commitment made by the private sector to implement the climate agenda and facing in the industrial sector as a generator of emissions and the farmer sector as an enabler of land use changes. And finally, structuring of municipal governments through guidance and consultancy as well as prompting collaborative mechanisms between municipalities and cities. In the face of emergency and in the face of lack of action from some national governments, more questions than answers come to mind. How can we force the machine to accelerate the process against climate change? How can we as subnational governments take a step forward? What are the codes to block the agenda? The challenges are huge, and we will work in constructing financial mechanisms to implement the commitments established in the alliance. We can also attend to the exchange of experience and good practice. We must advance in our commitments and go even further to define our most ambitious goals in amount and in deadlines. It is not enough to list the objectives. Each goal we set must be accompanied with plans and specific work agendas to achieve them. Within the Alliance of Mexican Governors for Climate, we find ourselves in this moment of definition and planning. Time is not on our side. Achieving to align an environmental policy requires not only political will, but also sensibility to understand what we have lost and we will continue to lose if we don't take action. We need to take on the responsibility individually and act towards the common good. And once we've understood this, take time as an ally and invest in long-term strategies without political timelines that erode hope. Subnational and local governments in Mexico are taking on the responsibility. The results of this commitment will begin to be seen in Glasgow. We will not fail. Thank you very much.